Hey guys, me and Matt are here to review the season 2 Benoit part 1, ain't we, mate? Yeah, so yeah, it's about the tragedy, and yeah, that was a hard video to watch, wasn't it?
I didn't watch much of it.
You seen some of it, didn't you? Some of it, bits of it. But yeah, so it mainly discussed at first, didn't it, about his how he got into the business at a young age. He started at like Stampede, and then he trained at Stampede. That was his only wrestling. In case people didn't know, that was his only job. He never actually had any other jobs apart from that. So yeah, that was interesting. Because most wrestlers like have a side job or something, don't they? And then yeah, he lived, breathed net wrestling until he died, pretty much. But so yeah, he started off in Stampede, trained with the Hearts in the Heart Dungeon, and then he was in Stampede for some time, went to Japan. Then in Japan he met Eddie Guerrero, didn't he? Yeah. And then and what was interesting is, at first him and Eddie didn't get along, did they? They didn't get along when they first wrestled each other.
No.
They had a bit of beef, and
They're too similar.
they were too similar, and I think miscommunication as well.
They got on by their matches.
Yeah, but then they grew on each other. That reminds me of my friendship with another friend of mine, Adam. Like, at first, me and him didn't get on. Miscommunication similar to theirs. Then we just grow on each other and become like really good friends over time. That happens sometimes. You just grow on each other. But yeah, so they wasn't friends at first, but then they grew on each other, started to earn each other's respect. And then Benoit disciplined himself sometimes. Like, for example, he screwed up on a move on Jericho, or didn't do it properly, and then he'd punish himself, like do like 300 squats. And just, it's kind of like a code, ain't it? It seems, don't it?
Yeah.
You know, like a code of a punishment yourself. If you don't do something, then you've got to punish yourself by doing stuff like that. So yeah, and then he he used to punish himself. And then he was in WCW with before he got with Nancy. And then he got with Nancy eventually when Jericho, Eddie was in WCW. Then him and Eddie became good friends in WCW. And then the stuff started to happen with Sullivan, didn't it? With Chris and Sullivan. So Chris was with David Benoit's mum before going out with Nancy, because Nancy cheated on Benoit over Sullivan. Then because of that, Sullivan and Benoit had a heated rivalry in WCW. They didn't get along at all, and it was probably very awkward for Nancy working with like her ex and then her current husband. So yeah, they didn't get along at all. Kevin Sullivan, to be fair to him, before Benoit and the other guys, it was Dean, wasn't it? Dean, Chris, Eddie, and Saturn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He went to
the
Radicals. That's so. Before that, Sullivan was trying to get Benoit's trust, wasn't he? Because he made him champion, world champion, got him to beat Sid Vicious. And because Benoit was a small person, wasn't he? He was like 5'8".
Something.
Yeah, he was small, wasn't he? So apparently, I watched in an interview that it was really difficult for because he was booking the shows and the matches of Sullivan to get Sid Vicious to drop the title to Benoit. He didn't think Benoit was believable to beat him, because of his size and that. Then it took a lot of convincing for him to do that. So he did try and get to earn Benoit's trust in the sense of, look, I'm going to put the title on you. I want to build this promotion around you and Eddie, Malenko, Saturn. And I know you won't watch his matches, but I think you'll agree on this, that I think losing all 4 of them very talented wrestlers fucked WCW over.
Maybe.
In some ways, because you're losing like 2 main eventers in Eddie and Chris, and then you got 2 good mid-carders in Malenko and Saturn. So I think
Saturn's last role was in ECW.
yeah.
I can't remember the tag team name anymore.
Yeah.
Is it the Eliminators? I don't know.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Eliminators, yeah. So, yeah, and then they go to WWF. Sullivan couldn't... Huh?
Eddie got bad luck then, he got injured first match.
He did, didn't he? Yeah. Yeah, I think Benoit lost his first match as well to Triple H.
I think they all did,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
They always bury WCW wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's always when they book against old WCW wrestlers, they've always got to get the win over them.
Look what they did to Sting.
Yeah. He should have beat Triple H. But, yeah, so they go over there. Benoit don't trust Sullivan. He thinks he's going to screw him over and his mates over. So they all leave to go to WWF at the time. Then they all go there as the Radicals. And, yeah, there's just bad luck at first. They lost their first match. Also, Eddie got injured. I think a few months later, Benoit did face The Rock, though. I think in 2000, Fully Loaded. I think, for the title. And then...
They didn't show that in the documentary.
No, it didn't. But from what I remember...
Yeah,
So-
Shane was his manager.
So then Eddie left WWE because he was having issues.
He got fired.
He got fired, didn't he? Yeah. And then he was on the indie scene for about a year. Came back, and then pretty much a year later, he won the title off Brock.
That was a good moment.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Then Benoit won the 3-way from Shawn and Triple H.
I remember it being a singles match. It was Shawn versus Triple H at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Now, yeah. I see what you mean. But at the time, it was a great match, though. It was a great match. And if you can still enjoy Benoit matches and separate like the performer to the character to... Sorry, the performer to the person, I would recommend you to watch that match because it is a great 3-way match. And the moment at the end is cool to see like Benoit and Eddie celebrate their achievements.
I can't recommend it anymore.
I would. That's one of the best moments in wrestling history, I think, is the Benoit and Eddie celebrating both titles because they earned it at the time. So
No, it's the good to forgettable Mania match.
yeah, now people just forget about it because of what happened. But yeah, for the time, it was a good moment for its time. And then pretty much a year and a half later, unfortunately, so this part 1 was more of how Benoit got into the business and how he met Eddie and how kind of Eddie died. So yeah, then Eddie was champion for a few months, so was Benoit. Benoit lost it to Orton at SummerSlam.
Had it longer.
A bit longer. A couple of months, I think. And then Eddie lost it to JBL. And then pretty much a year and a half later, November 2005, Eddie...
Was it November?
I think so.
It was around Survivor Series time.
Yeah, around Survivor Series, yeah. Then Eddie died in a hotel, and yeah, from people who knew Benoit at the time, he was never the same after that, was he? Yeah, he was never the same. I think he stopped caring after that, it seemed. From what I hear, he just stopped caring completely. And yeah, he just didn't want to be there no more. I've heard from interviews as well, wrestlers who knew him, he didn't want to be in WWE no more, he wanted to leave. So yeah, and then, yeah, obviously he's lost his best friend. Then WWE make him fucking go to Europe straight after losing his best friend.
After the funeral.
After the funeral. So They should have gave him time off, a couple of months to get over it, to try and
They
get.
didn't even allow Chavo or Ray time off either.
No.
Not that I can remember. No.
Yeah.
I don't think he did.
No. But it did. But Chris didn't seem like an emotional person. But when Eddie died, I think everything just got to him. I think he just got really upset and just. I've heard stories like he'd go to Eddie's bed when he used to visit Vicky Gray, and he'd cry in the bedroom and say, like, I wish Eddie was here. So it had a real massive effect on him. Then plus he was getting constant concussions. I'm not making excuses, I'm just stating the facts, like, of what was going on at the time for him. And then he was getting a lot of concussions, CTE. And Austin's full of shit. I love Austin, but he's full of shit. CTE does exist. People have it and have to deal with it. And he had it. They did tests on his brain after he died.
Didn't
And
even Austin said anything.
yeah, Austin said in the in the Vince McMahon documentary that he don't believe in CTE.
Maybe he don't believe in it. Maybe that's not him full of shit. Maybe he doesn't actually think it exists. In his opinion, maybe he doesn't.
It does. There's
maybe
proof
he
it exists.
He just hasn't done the research for it. So
maybe
he's not wrong. He just doesn't know.
Yeah, but he did have CTE. It's proved on his brain. So yeah, he had CTE, constant concussions, and then
It's his fault with how he wrestles.
Yeah, he did wrestle with with the headbutts, but he shouldn't have took headshots with chairs. I'm glad that don't happen though. It's safer now.
Some companies still do it.
Yeah, but WWE it's safer now. And then as the documentary ends, it gets to the point where Benoit is going to face Punk at I think it was Night of Champions. I think it was Night of Champions or Vengeance, Night of Champions, I think, for the WWE EC tour. And at the time, I was looking forward to that match. At the time,
That brand was a disaster.
it was, yeah, it was.
I need some alcohol, bro.
Yeah, and then and then he didn't turn up for the events. People were trying to contact him. He did speak to Chavo, Benoit did, but he's being vague. He was saying like they were ill, they were poisoned or something. They had poisoning. I think that was his excuse at the time to why he didn't make the flight. And then I'm trying to think then what happened after that bit, what they said on the documentary. And then they got weird texts saying like the dogs are outside and the gate's open. So, and that came from I think Nancy's phone and Benoit's phone. So yeah, that's strange. You got multiple people got them texts. And Chavo then owned up to John Laurinaitis, because he was talent relations, where he helped all wrestlers out with their pay and that. Then he told them, look, Benoit's not turned up. He's sent these messages have been sent to our phone off his phone and Nancy's. So much not right. And then they get the police to do a farewell check on the Benoit house to see what's going on. And then it ends there, don't it? It ends there where before the police go there. So yeah, that's what happened in part one. So part one, it was how Benoit got in the business, wasn't it? And how Eddie, the rise and fall of Eddie. I'd say that's like two documentaries in one, really. So it's kind of like the rise and fall of Eddie, ain't it? And then the rise and fall of Benoit. Yeah, so. But yeah, that was the documentary. And you really struggled with this one, didn't you?
You might notice I have not been very talkative in this one, so I haven't got much to add.
You spoke a little bit about bits.
5 seconds each, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You found this really hard to watch, didn't you?
This is probably going to be one of those where I'm not going to be talking a lot.
Yeah, you just say brief comments about certain things.
I think I said more to you before this, and I don't really need to repeat anything, but there's a lot of conspiracy theorists, a lot of idiots out there who just
Shall we
want to
discuss
make it.
Shall we?
Yeah,
We might as well.
I'll talk about it for a second. There's a lot of people who believe, they want to believe he's innocent and framed and all that crap, but it's one of those things where you want to believe it to give yourself some clarity, but they won't accept reality.
To do with not believing, right? The only time I was at that point was when I found out he did it. So how we found out, we're getting to this because it's to do with how we found out.
Raw.
So we found out he died on Raw, right? And he had, you remember the tribute show for him, right? Where he had his best matches and that.
Not really, no.
No, you remember it happening though, don't you? They did it, the tribute show. Because remember that show was supposed to be the funeral of Vince.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, because he blew himself up the week before. And that week, it was going to be the funeral of Vince. But then, in reality, it ended up being the funeral for Benoit.
And just so people actually are aware, when we say the funeral of Vince, he's not...
Yeah.
In storyline, he had an explosion limousine.
He got killed off in the storyline, yeah.
But then when the real tragedy happened, he just came out. And then the very next night, he said that no one will ever mention his name again.
So the only time I didn't believe it, and there's a few things I think's not all what it seems, and I had a discussion with you. I think you agreed with me on the Texas a little bit, not the barbed wire. We're getting to it. It'd be a decent discussion, wouldn't it? So, the only time I didn't believe it was, so I was playing football with my friends out next door, and then his dad, I said, I'm really upset about Benoit. He's one of my favourites. He passed away. Then my neighbour told me, his dad said, I'm glad he's dead. He killed his family and his son and his wife. And I was like, no, he didn't. They were found dead. They got killed by someone else. I don't think he did that. I didn't believe it at all at first. And then he said it's on the news, it's in the paper. And then I went to the shop, got the paper, seen the article. And I was like, oh shit.
I think...
You seen it on Score Sports News, didn't you?
Yeah, my brother actually called me down.
I was said what happened.
Playing probably some wrestling game at the time, whatever one it was at the time.
Yeah.
But my brother actually called me down to like take a look at this,
and
I was like, "Fuck off, whatever." It's like, yeah, right, whatever. Just like, yeah, didn't believe it, and then when
I didn't.
There's like, proof came
Murder
out that he killed his wife, killed his son, and hanged himself in the basement. It's like, fuck off, that's your whatever. And then I didn't want to believe it at first. I'm like all these.
At the time, did you think that sounded like someone killed him and made it look like staged? No, because there is that theory. We'll get into it.
We'll get people have their theories, but
yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't believe it because we didn't know the details of it. All we knew is they were all died. We didn't know how they died or what happened.
But then when the proof came out,
yeah,
it was like, wow.
It was all over the media.
Yeah.
You remember it was all over the media. You had Jericho, Cena and Brett on a talk show talking about it. It was all over Sky News. It was all over BBC News.
We're still surprised that wrestling exists because it could have died that night.
It nearly took everything down. And also what was the bad thing about wrestling then, the tragedy bad enough, but adding on top of that to make it worse, to make wrestling look really bad, is people dying under 40, wasn't it? People were dying a lot, weren't they? Like left, right and centre. Under 40 because of drugs, because of how the business was.
I know Eddie got himself clean, but the drugs killed him off eventually.
Yeah, because he took so many, it just fucked his heart up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
he wasn't that old.
No, he wasn't, no. Yeah, and it nearly did kill the business, didn't it? Like Jericho said, it nearly took that tragedy, nearly took the whole business down with him.
He can't watch any of the matches.
No, he don't, no.
And I've tried, I can't.
Yeah, he did try and watch a few, like Benoit and Angle, Raw and Below 3, and he just couldn't enjoy it because he just couldn't separate the performer. He did watch the full match, I think, from what I remember you saying, with Benoit and Orton, SummerSlam 04. He thought it was a good match,
I can't remember.
but when he did watch it, he thought he enjoyed the match, but he thought that all he was thinking of when you seen Benoit was the weekend, wasn't you?
I can't remember rewatching that match, to be honest.
But I remember you saying you did.
I don't know.
But yeah, he did try a few times. No, one match I do know you watched with him, and then you couldn't wait until he was out of it, was the Chamber. The first Chamber. The 2005 one.
He won in the first chamber.
No, the 2005 one. The one that Triple H won. When Batista helped Triple H. Benoit was in that. You watched that one?
Chamber at the time.
Yeah, but he can't watch Benoit matches. He can't separate the performer to the person. I can still enjoy his matches.
No,
But I only watch them if say I'm on a show and it comes on. I don't like put in Benoit verse. Because I don't want to.
I see him as a killer.
Yeah, I see why. Yeah. So,
and I will briefly say, nothing against his son David, and I've never been one of those people that say shit to him because you shouldn't. But because he looks so much like him.
You got tense for seeing him today, didn't you, on the video?
I can't watch his face.
He looks double of him, doesn't he?
But he can be a bit stupid.
Yeah.
He thought if he was a wrestler, he would have the Benoit name.
And the song.
That's the first time I've actually said his last name in over 10 years.
The song as well.
And he wants the same song. Don't get me wrong, for its time, that was an epic song.
It was a good theme song.
But I haven't heard it in years.
You did play it a few years ago.
It's been years.
Yeah.
Probably been 10 years since I've played it.
But we do think, I feel sorry for him because he lost his brother, didn't he? He lost his stepmom. His dad, obviously, to suicide. So I think he's been through a lot.
Right.
He's been through a lot. You've seen it and I've seen it.
I think you've shown me some.
Yeah, he gets a lot of shit. He gets bullied
a lot.
Yeah, he mentions that in part 2 when I last watched it. He does mention that.
I know you've tried to send me interviews of his, but I've never been able to watch them.
Because you just see him and you remind you of his dad, don't it?
So I can't watch it.
Yeah, he's double. If you don't know, he looks double of them, don't he?
He looks basically cloned.
Yeah, he does. But I have a lot of sympathy for him, but I think he is a bit delusional,
He's a bit stupid.
A bit like saying he'd do Chris Benoit Jr. if he was a wrestler.
He wouldn't be allowed.
He'd play his dad's music.
He wouldn't be allowed.
I'm all for him if he wanted to be a wrestler to give it a go.
He can't have the last name.
I think the only way he would have got around is if he didn't use the last name.
And I think WWE would never hire him.
No, WWE wouldn't have. AW might have. New Japan might have.
They might have been the best.
I think Japan and Mexico and England would have been better because it's not involved. Because that tragedy didn't happen in them countries, but because it nearly took the whole business down.
I don't know if anyone will.
I don't think. I think he's too hesitant to do it anyway because people would blacklist him because of his last name. Yeah. And it's not his fault. He's done nothing wrong, but because of what his dad did, his last name will be blacklisted because of it.
That name blacklisted forever.
Yeah.